This
maybe some of the
conference will now be recorded.
that have been going on with parenting, and maybe how to get through that. And really what I wanted to focus on is I do teach mindfulness to elementary school children up through high school. I do Reiki for adults. So I do a lot of relaxation techniques and a lot of those things that I'm doing. And I wanted to just kind of share with you almost like a mindfulness toolbox that you can have. So we're going to do some of it, obviously what we can do here. I'll show you. And then also you may want to, make some notes of some things that you can do on your own. But I really think when I do any kind of parenting class, I do try to be as authentic and real as I can. I don't like to give you any information that isn't, especially now, useful. So I want you guys to be able, to, obviously I don't want to do all the talking. I'd love for you guys to, join in. I do want to start with a few things, and then maybe we can open it up to a discussion. And in between, I like to do some relaxation techniques as well. How does that sound? Good?
Definitely.
So I don't know. I know Crystal and I didn't meet, but Mia, I'm not sure. Did I ever meet you in one of the classes at Patchogue Library? I do go there often.
No, we haven't met. It's my first time because I usually am at work. Now I'm working from home. So
Okay.
my name is Melissa, by the way. It's just because my daughter uses this app for school. So
yeah.
That's why her name comes up.
Okay, yeah, that's no problem. And that's probably something that we should start with is trying to create some balance right now in our lives. I think that's the most important thing that we can do. I always said that like mindful parenting is parenting in the now, in the slowing down, being in the moment, really connecting with the family, and using a lot of the parenting skills you might have learned or, either some research that you've done. But right now we kind of have to make a little bit of a change, I think. I just feel like, Mia, you just said that you're working from home. That's a lot of us. A lot of us are doing that, and we're also like homeschooling the kids. I really don't like to call it homeschooling actually, because I'm also a school counselor, and I do see a lot of the teachers actually teaching at this point. So I think that's a really good thing, and maybe it's taken some pressure off of the parents, but some are actually still, depending on the district, depending on the school, teaching their children, and that just is like, wow, to me. So to be able to be doing that with several children and also completing your own work and being at meetings and all different kinds of Zoom meetings, and then trying to prepare dinner. If your, significant other is home, you have everybody all at once trying to use the computer. So we just want to try to find some balance in that, and I'm sure you guys are feeling that as well. I do recommend, I've always recommended, and I think we still need to continue with some kind of routine. And sometimes the routines that I've talked about have been very structured. I'm asking you not to be so rigid and structured at this point. But pretty much now we've been home for 2 months on average for most of us. So that's a long time, and I think it's kind of like, I know everyone uses the word the new normal, but it really is like a new normal for parenting right now. So you kind of know almost like what to expect, whether the kids are, logging on to certain classes or you have meetings at certain times. At this point, you can kind of create a routine, and that probably now for kids is really important for their own like mental and emotional health. And I think that if they know what to expect during the day right now, they'll be better for it. You're going to probably witness different kinds of tantrums or meltdowns at this point. And I think the triggers are also different right now. So parenting right now is just put it into a whole new perspective to me. So you might want to start seeing, what may be the trigger. And I always say this before the pandemic and now that we're in it, is the way that you feel and the way that you're handling it is what your kids are witnessing. I recently looked at something I really, really liked. It was one of like those meme kind of things, and it did make a reference to the fact that right now, during probably one of your biggest struggles in life, whether it's financial struggles, emotional struggles, fear, they're watching you, and they're actually watching how you deal with those struggles and how you're reacting to them. And I know it's hard. Like, I'm not saying it's easy, because we're going to have bad days, and I think we need to expect those bad days. But overall, you are now being the biggest example to show them how you get through these tough times. And they're watching and they're learning. And you know what? I think that you guys, if you really look at it, are doing great, I'm sure, because there's certain days that I say, did I do anything? You know, did I do anything effective today? And the answer is, if you really, you know, before you go to bed and you're laying down, really ask yourself that. And there are some positives that are going on in the day, right? So we're with our families more. We've slowed down. You know, I feel like, in a way, I was running around like crazy before this, you know, scheduling all their sports and extra help and, you know, our own jobs. And I feel like now we have an opportunity to really slow down and look at what really matters once this is over. You know, what needs to stay, what, you know, what we need to really get rid of when that comes all back into play. So it's just something to think about. Ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Like, if you have a significant other at home, you guys are pretty much on equal ground right now in terms of things that you have to do. So don't be afraid to ask, you know, the other person to make dinner one night, even if you've always made dinner. You know, alleviate some of the stress for yourself, you know, in your everyday life. And try to use, like, some of the things that I teach you today in terms of relaxation techniques, try to use together. I really kind of want the focus tonight, though, to be about you, because I think you, especially, you know, as a mom running the whole household, need to be well mentally and emotionally right now in order for you to get this new routine going for we don't know how long, you know, right? A lot of summer is in question. The new school year is in question. And really what we have to, when this first started, is to think about the fact that we don't have any control over this. That's the main thing. We don't have a control really over anything right now. And that's hard. You know, it's something hard to accept, especially when you want the world to be a great place for your child. You know, there's a lot of added fear in that for you. So, you know, I get it and I understand. Is there anything that you guys right now, you know, are doing? Maybe we can help one another right now that's working, or things that aren't working. Feel free to share. I don't want it to just be me lecturing you the whole time, because we learn from each other. So if there's anything you want to talk about now, questions you might have before we kind of go into some relaxation. If you don't, that's okay too. You can always ask me later. So what I can do, and again, just, you know, interrupt me. That is absolutely fine. One thing I want to do, and I want to start with, a lot of new things that have been coming out and that I've actually been taking classes on is sound healing. The things that I mentioned that you may not have heard of before, you may want to kind of like Google later and take a look at. I think a lot of people are turning to these things at this point. And for me, I think that's the greatest part of this. If you can be able to learn some of these things while you're at home and use it in your life, even after the pandemic is over, that would be beneficial. So one thing I like to use, like I have a lot of chimes around my house, and you can even use like a, you know, like little chimes that you can buy at the store. I mean, even think like a grocery store has them, you know, and they kind of hang and that kind of thing. I have like, you know, more of a professional chime here. And what this does is tonight I'm going to start to kind of clear your energy, right? Because we're absorbing so much negativity just from watching media today, you know, just from, I mean, we want to be informed, right? At this point, I think it is a very important thing to be informed through this, but not to obsess on it all day. as a parent, we want to know when school's opening. So we're watching all, the politicians speak. But a lot of it we're absorbing into our own minds, into our own bodies. And that can be a cause of stress also. So I don't want you to be doing that. So tonight I'm going to clear you to start. And then we can talk about other ways that you can relax also. Okay, so I just want you to kind of get into a place. If your kids are around and running around, that's fine. Just try to get into a place where when I do this, you kind of maybe can close your eyes and just like picture the sounds and the vibrations kind of just washing, your energy clear, right? And just getting rid of it. And if you have your own chime at home, like one that's hanging up, when you kind of like, if you go outside a little and you enter the house, or if you feel like the kids are just, unmanageable that day, hit the chime yourself, and it kind of breaks up the negative energy in your home. So that's something that you can do. But we're going to do this now, okay? So everyone can relax. Let's see if you can see it. And just take a moment to kind of get into a relaxed place. And I'm just going to hit this a few times and clear you off. Okay, so you should feel somewhat relaxed. I know I do. Anybody have anything to add before I go on? Please do. Oh,
Just
welcome
wanted to say we have a couple of new people who joined in, so I'm happy to see Margie and Joyce. Just wanted to say hello.
I do. Hi, how are you? Margie, Joyce, please feel free to interrupt at any time. So what I just did for Margie and Joyce that just joined us is I'll do it again at the end so you can benefit from that, and maybe, we'll just clear ourselves off before we're done with this. It's just another way of like just releasing our negativity, in this really, really challenging time and challenging parenting time. So I'm going to start just with talking about the mindfulness toolbox that I feel like I think would work for you. So another thing that I've always done in the classes, and I know it's Miss Mary's favorite, is my Hoberman sphere deep breathing. Okay. So deep breathing to me, and there's so many videos out there, obviously if you don't have a Hoberman sphere as a visual for yourself or your children, you can look up all sorts of deep breathing on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, wherever you choose to like your social media. There's a ton out there, and deep breathing really is the quickest, cheapest way to relax. Okay, and I really think that if you find yourself, just, really like your body's stiff during the day, you feel like you're losing patience with your kids, and really there's just so much going on, just kind of break away from it. Take a moment, take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it doesn't have to be long, and just do some kind of deep breathing exercise. So we're gonna do it together right now. So you can just see the visual on that. So let's try that. So when I open this, let me just make sure I'm in the camera right. Right, you're gonna take a deep breath in through your nose, and then when it goes back down, you're breathing out. Right, so we're gonna take a deep breath in and then out. So in through your nose and out through your mouth. All right, I think this group needs a few more times. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Hope you're feeling better. So you can do this with your kids. Do it with your kids. If you find a deep breathing exercise that works, make sure that they're joining you. For the little ones, what I like to always do is get them to a place. This is again all pre-meltdown. You know, obviously, anytime I've talked about this, if they're in, you know, they really have their temper up, you can't do anything about it. We all know that. But you can do things prior to that happening. And again, you may be witnessing different triggers because of being home and having a new routine. So when you start to see those new triggers, you want to start doing the deep breathing. So what you could do is you can make it like cute for them, and then you can hold up like your 10 fingers and pretend they're birthday candles, and then you can ask them to blow out like each birthday candle, right? So that, without them even realizing it, is helping them to calm down and helping them to do deep breathing, you know, in a more younger person mind kind of way, a little different than, you know, how we do it. So you would get down right on their level and you'd say, you know, oh, can you, you know, let mommy blow out the birthday candles and pretend it's your birthday. You can have an unbirthday, like, you know, in Alice in Wonderland, whatever silly thing you want to do. Keep the humor with them too when you do these kinds of things. Humor is so important right now. Like a lot of us just felt very, rightfully so, serious and sad when this was all, you know, initially starting. So now we want to bring like that humor back into life. That really does tend to relax us too. Okay, so any kind of deep breathing. Another thing I love doing, and I obviously can't show you right now because we're not outside and you guys are not outside, but it's called a grounding exercise. I love going outside with the kids and taking our shoes off, taking our socks off, going into the grass, and literally like coming up and down, like, you know, on your toes and back down, toes back down. And what that does is connect you to the earth, to the ground again, right? Literally. And you feel rooted again, right? Because a lot of us are feeling as parents right now out of control, right? We talked about it before. We don't really have control over much of anything anymore. So to be able to have control within ourselves again is really the start, right? Because nobody can touch your like inner peace. You're the only one that can kind of create that. And of course, having these things in your toolbox will help you with parenting right now, right? And will teach your kids to use it well after this is over. Another thing is getting outside, even if it's, you know, today was a little chilly. And again, I know some of the kids, the older kids, have a rigid work routine, you know, online. And again, I know Mia said that she was working, so you do get a lunch break still, right? We don't want to be that accessible. I work too, and at first I was just answering emails at like 8 o'clock at night, and I never used to do that, honestly. And so you have to also balance it in a way, because like let's face it this way, the teachers, your bosses, are not expecting you to be perfect at this time, right? And they've said it. You know, a lot of teachers have said it to me. A lot of my bosses have said it to me. But I think we put our own unnecessary pressure on ourselves. I was doing it for a while, and then I was realizing I can't do this anymore. I can only do the best that I can, because this is not realistic to be available at 8 o'clock at night. So you want to, you know, kind of find that balance, and you do get a lunch break. So what I do is I go out, you know, again, no pressure in this. If you can't do it one day, you don't do it, but you can go on a mindful walk, right? Right in your own neighborhood. And what you can do is with your children, have them maybe notice all the wonderful things around them, right? Look at the bird, look how cute the little bird is. You know, if you have the little ones, older ones, it may be a good opportunity to talk to maybe some of the teens and the preteens. I know I have a 10-year-old, and it's just a time that we're walking and we're able to just talk about life. You know, she was kind of talking about old memories with her friends this year. It's just, you know, they're walking and they're kind of getting their mind off of things. It's healthy, right? Unfortunately, all of their activities have been taken away, so it's another way of building exercise in for yourself and your little ones, and connecting again, you know, and do it as long as you can, and you can get back to your work when you get home. But it's just a really good thing to do. I love it. Again, as basic as even like a hot bath, you know, get in there at night, say, you know what, I'm taking some time to myself, shut the door, even if it's 15, 20 minutes, just a relaxing time, something that you do in your home right now, right? Also, if you're in there, music to me is one of the greatest things right now. And it doesn't have to necessarily be relaxation music and classical music, although if you like that, that's great too. And if you have anything like Amazon Music, iTunes, whatever you guys have in your phones, there are tons of relaxation music if you want to go that way, tons. If you make your own playlist. But, you know, just regular music, you know, something to kind of just, I mean, it could be rock, you know, it could be heavy metal if you're into that, whatever it may be. That does relax us too. Let's remember the things that we liked. You know, we're not all of a sudden these new people that are just, you know, trying to adjust to all these new things. We're still our old selves and we still like music and things like that. So, you know, I do recommend those kind of things. Of course, if depending, you know, on prayer is another thing. More and more people are connecting to whatever spirituality that you have. Make sure that you are, if you are, that is great too. I also love essential oils. If you haven't gotten into essential oils, that may be the time, because I sleep diffusing essential oils every night. And there are oils, you could do a whole load of research. I could do a whole other class on essential oils. There's so much information, but there are some that calm kids down, that keep them focused on their schoolwork. So, you know, you can incorporate something like that into life right now. And of course, if you do yoga, or meditation, great. Again, a lot of people are very nice to offer free classes at this point on Zoom and things like that. I've seen a lot of classes, yoga classes for children, for families, maybe even the library. Miss Mary may have something like that, yoga. You may want to check that out, you know, and see where that's at. I do want to also go into a very simple meditation tonight. Again, if you have not meditated, you may want to start. All right. The thing that always intimidated me about any kind of meditation is the pressure of like doing it right, or when am I going to do it? I never tell parents to even have a routine of this, right? Like, again, that's me trying to be as realistic and authentic as I can be when I tell you, you don't want to do it for 2 weeks, fine, you know, no pressure. But if you want to just lay down at night, all right, before you go to bed, again, put on some relaxing music and just close your eyes and go into a place where you can just disconnect for a little. Very, very beneficial. Some people do it in the morning. You can even do it where you can wake up and just talk about what you're grateful for, right? Because there's still a lot of things to be grateful for. It's not all despair right now. When you watch the media, it's just all despair. But if you really look further beyond, some of those stories are very positive, right? A lot of people are surviving right now. A lot of things that they're, you know, testing out is for our benefit later on. So try to focus on what you're grateful for when you wake up, before you start your very, very hectic day at home. But I do want to do a little meditation with you now, because I just feel like we need it. And then, of course, we can open up for questions in a little while, but I am going to put on some music that I thought you guys would like. I'm hoping you can hear it. Hold on, because I think it will set kind of the tone for us. Let's see if I can get it up. You let me know if you can hear it. You guys hear that? Perfect.
Yep.
Okay, so I do want you to get into the place. You can hear me, right? Get into a relaxed place again. Close your eyes, lay down, whatever you need to do. Sit down. Your kids are there. Have them join you. I just want you to really close your eyes. Take some deep breaths. And then I want you to start to think about some negative thoughts you may have. Let's say fear over the pandemic, fear of what the world is like for your children or you. And think of them like, put them into little bubbles, right? You start with your one thought, put it into a bubble, and slowly it fades away up into the sky. Take a deep breath. And think of that negative thought, and you're going to slowly picture it floating away, far, far away. And take another deep breath. Picture your next negative thought, and just see it in that bubble, and then it's just floating far, far up, the clouds, the blue sky. Do it a few more times. You think of the same thing, that's okay, or a new thing. And then I want you to hear me say some positive things right now. And I want you to just relax, close your eyes, and say this to yourself after I've said it, and kind of repeat it to yourself. I am an amazing parent that radiates love and peace at all times. I am 100% supportive of my children. I am an awesome teacher for my children. Difficult days bring important lessons. My children find a safe, loving, peaceful place with me. I am enough. I am amazing. And then just take some deep breath. One more deep breath. And I hope you're feeling better since when we started. Would love to hear any questions right now. Any discussion, please.
I just put something into the chat where I said that I am enough is hard for me, and I'm not even a parent. You know, I think about it pretty much daily. You know, am I doing enough? Am I reaching out enough? Am I helping enough from home, there's only so much I can do, but you know, how am I making my place during this time? And I asked myself that I am enough, like, am I, constantly? And I have to remind myself that these are different times. You can't use the same yardstick that you've been using in the past, and that we are enough.
Mhm. We really are. We've always been enough, you know. And these times, they're tough times. And if you can just say that you like literally have done enough for the day, then it is enough, right? And you'll be surprised later on what your kids remember. You know, I have a feeling they're going to remember all the good things, maybe the dinners together, you know, the time for dinners together, the struggles that they may be having with academics, but that you were able to help them through. And you know what? We've put a lot of pressure on ourselves, you know, to make life almost perfect for our kids before this. And I don't think they ever needed it. You know, I really, really don't think they ever needed that perfection. They just need you showing up, you being there, and just being the best that you can be, you know. And 20, 30 years from now, they'll look back in pictures and say, you know, that was really fun when we went out for a walk. Or dad was home for dinner, or, you know, and one day, you know, it's funny, like my mom still gives me advice. I am not young anymore.
Hey.
But, you know, if you can turn to your moms, like, that's great right now. But, you know, I laughed when she said it, how you're going to miss this. And even, you know, I said, how can I miss this? You know, there's job insecurity right now. You know, do I have to stay home with my child next year because they're going to have half days? And then she said, yeah, but you're going to miss this. You know, you're going to miss that pace that just slowed down, and just miss that time together, you know? So try to find the positive in this. And maybe that's really what we need to take away from this is, I love that theme, Miss Mary, of I am enough, and maybe even write some things down that made you feel enough today. Kind of goes with like the lay down at night when everyone's asleep, before you go to bed, listen to some music, take some deep breaths, and then even journal. I mean, journal is great right now. Journal is a piece of history right now for your own kids, or for you when you're older, to say, what was I going through at that time in history? You know, because we are living history. And I think a lot of us had it easy, you know, and who says that we're immune to these sometimes tragic things in history? It is just going to make us stronger. And if you just need to focus on the few things that you've done that made the day go well, then you need to do that as a parent right now. And that's all you can do, you know. And that's why I wanted to have this tonight. And Miss Mary and I spoke to, and she was so supportive of this, is just knowing that you're not alone. Because I think when you're home, you do feel disconnected. I had ran into a parent. I was walking my mindful walk, and very sad, a parent that's a single parent, and she had a little one, I think no more than like 1.5, and she just stopped to talk to me. She doesn't know me. She just saw me walking, and she started talking. She said, I feel so lonely, you know. I used to be able to go out and see other parents and have play dates, and, you know, feel like what I was going through, which was hard to begin with, right? Pre-pandemic, parenting is not easy. And now you have the new challenges of that. And, you know, so I just think that maybe, you know, still keeping some kind of, you know, virtual relationship with other parents right now or something would be beneficial. Even if you make a fun Zoom meeting with your friends or your cousins or whoever it may be, with some kind of theme, like a tea party. I don't know. It's cheesy, right? But something that just helps your mind. That's all. And I do want to say too, I had read this the other day and I felt like I needed to share it with you. I read something that said like Control, Alt, Delete, you know, like on your computer, literally like our computers right now. So Control is control yourself, alter your thoughts, and delete negativity, right? Literally. So just kind of like almost like resetting yourself every day if you can. I know you're gonna say, oh, this is easier said than done. I mean, I study this stuff, right? And teach it, and I still have bad days. So it's going to be normal to have a bad parenting day. And sometimes a simple I'm sorry to the children, it works, and it shows them how they need to apologize too if they've made a mistake. It's not the end of the world, you know, it doesn't mean you hate them. It just simply means that you're sorry for maybe losing your patience with them right now. I mean, it's going to happen. You know, and don't be afraid to give them little leniency, I guess. You know, if you've been rigid about screen time for them, you may want to alter that a little if it's making them happy, keeping them calm a little bit. Don't get so caught up in what people are saying. Also, oh, good one. You have to find right now in this, because we don't know how long this is going on. We hear many different opinions, right? Oh, well, you can go out with a mask. Oh, you shouldn't go out at all. You have children, right? Constantly flooding you, flooding you, flooding you. Every conversation you have with someone is about it. That's what gets me the most. Like, I can't even have a conversation with somebody anymore without talking about it, right? Because it's kind of like we're all living it, and that's it. And that's why I need you to use your mindful toolbox. But you have to find some kind of inner decision in yourself. So the summer's coming, right? You've been home long enough. Don't feel that you have to listen to everyone as to what you want to do. If you feel you need to wear that mask on a walk, I do, right? That's my own. People think I'm crazy. Well, you're just walking. But you know what? If you feel like you've been home in that fear, then maybe wearing that mask and going out with your kids and having them wear it will make you do more and get out there a little more, because it's just not mentally, emotionally good to be home, right, for long periods of time. So I think you need to find that, you know, almost like an inner ground as a parent, and just say, you know what may be good for you may not be good for me, right? That saying I love, may be good for you, may not be good for me. You can say that to somebody, right? I mean, I just think that's where we're at, you know, just trying your best and doing that. Questions? Anything you guys that are doing that can help me, my 10-year-old, honestly? Is there something that you're doing that, you know, you may want to share that can just help us to get through the day? That would be great. No? Oh,
No,
Mia, I see you.
nothing
Okay.
special. I'm just going day by day. It's hard because I'm a single parent too. So, and I have a 4-year-old who is full of energy. She, she's a person who is singing all day, who's jumping all day, running all day, and it's kind of stressful because I gotta make phone calls all day.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
they're kids, so they don't understand it to want to be quiet.
Right.
So, and she's the only one. So she's one of the kids that requires a lot of attention. She wants to be on top of you all day. She sleeps with me. You know, like she follows me everywhere, even though when I'm home, she just gotta be next to me.
Yeah, Mia, I hear that. And you know what? I was trying to think of this the other day because my daughter was doing the same exact thing. She's an only child too. And there's different challenges with that, Mia, honestly, because you become their everything. You become their playmate, you know, as you know. You know, you become the person that almost like a sibling where now, you know, they may even argue with you. So that's a whole other challenge. But I also think that kids are scared and they don't realize, right? So I tried to tell that to myself with my daughter because she was just being, you know, difficult the other day, no matter what I was doing. Needed constant attention, but that attention is their fear almost, you know. So, and it's hard, you know, because you do have to work. But I just think that you know, that's how it is, you know? Is there a way, just honestly, I mean, you don't have to answer it, you know, if you don't want to, but is there a way that like work would understand if you did less calls, or, you know, is there any way that they can work with you, you know?
No, actually, that's what I do, phone calls, because we're working remotely, and I work at a hospital. I work at Stony Brook. So
Mm,
what we're doing is not registering patients because they don't want to have contact with the patients. So we're calling them. We have to call and register. So that's the main point of our job right now.
Okay.
It's just hard. They were very, thank God I'm working from home. I'm grateful for that. So I'm not sending her today. I'm not going to the hospital. So that I'm very grateful for. But
sure.
it's just very stressful, and you get very cranky. uh, yeah, and on my break time, I gotta cook, and
Mhm.
afterward, I gotta clean. So it's just the two of us, but it's like having three kids with her. She's very hyper,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
she, I guess it's because the one she doesn't listen. You tell her to put her toys away, she won't do it. Like she will do the opposite
Hmm.
always. So I'm striving for her to be more helpful because she's already 4. She should be, putting her stuff away.
She's not in school, right? You said she was, how old
She
is
was
she?
daycare. She just turned 4 last month. So
Yeah. So maybe like just a thought, Mia, is like almost like get her involved in your working. I know that sounds crazy, but almost make it a game where maybe if I'm going down to make a few calls, do you want to come sit with mommy? Maybe sit near me, you know, hear some of the people talking, play with your toys, and, you know, and then kind of reward her after that, you know, with maybe some time just alone with her, you know, in between calls, or, you know, have lunch with her. So that maybe she feels like she's becoming like helping you and becoming involved in your work, which may be a nice thing to try, you know, because really you have no other choice. You have to work. There's
Right.
nothing, you know, you can do about that. But then we have to change what's happening with her, like try something different. And just like I even had my daughter helping me when I was reaching out to students, and she felt like she's older, but she felt a sense of pride, you know, and wow, mommy let me sit there and hear some of these phone calls, you know, so maybe something that she can just help you out and do, you know, even if it's not really going to help you, but she feels like she helped you.
yes, that's a good idea actually. I've never thought about that.
And maybe
So
even involving her with the cooking and, that sort of thing. So that way it's together time for the both of you, and you can kind of turn that into just a sweet moment too, and a good learning experience, maybe.
That's so true. Maybe she can get to choose what to make, you know, with you, you know, even if it's like something you don't like, you know, like, oh, you know, I want to make Kraft macaroni and cheese with you. But it gives her something that she's independent for, you know, which she may be craving right now, you know, because the world it's so out of control. But mommy is the one that makes it in control for her again, you know. So again, it's crazy, right? Because you have to change what you have been doing with her. But we don't know how long this is going to be. So you know what? Start tomorrow. Start and see. Take it one day at a time. Try something new.
yes,
And I don't think that Margie can turn herself off mute because she's dealing with other things right now, but she did write in the chat box, I'm learning how to let things go and not be so hard on my boys, taking more time to relax and have fun right now. She has, she's one of my coworkers. Believe she has 3 boys, 3 sons.
Wow.
So, and her youngest, I believe, is 4. So similar in age to Mia's daughter, and it's a juggle for sure. But I like that, not being, maybe taking just more time to relax, have fun, not stress about the online learning for the older ones as much. It will get done, it you know in its own time.
It's true. And don't be afraid to like email the teachers, because honestly, I have never seen teachers working so hard and missing the kids. And like, one day she just didn't want to finish her work. I mean, I emailed the teacher. I was like, listen, I'm just going to be honest with you. She just is not in the right state of mind, and neither was I, to finish the work. And they were okay with that. Like no teacher is going to tell you right now, no, they have to do it. That's it. They're not even as rigid. So, definitely feel free more than ever, to shoot that email to the teacher and just say, you know what, I think they just need the afternoon to kind of just relax. We'll get back to it tomorrow. It'll be there.
Right. It'll always be there waiting. Sometimes some things take precedence. Some days are better than others. Some days you feel like you can get everything done. Some days you feel like, nope, I just don't have it today. And, and I think that's important to remember too, that it changes on a daily basis. Like that kind of productivity varies,
Yeah. But that love you have for them and the commitment you have to your kids doesn't change, right? We talked about
Exactly.
that tonight, that inner you is still there, although everything may be falling around negatively around us, using some of these things we learned tonight brings us back into the you again. That's still there, and that more than ever your kids need, right? Just the you showing up and doing the best that you can. And if you didn't have a good day, I love sleep, and hopefully you guys are sleeping right. Honestly, sleep is just, to me, one of the most important things that you can ever do for yourself. Because I always say that, like going to bed, wow, that was a challenging day, and then it's like you wake up and it's just a new opportunity to start. Just like clean slate. More than ever, you have to do that day by day now. Like, okay, well, I'll have the clean slate tomorrow. Look for the little things that are coming up, even like as simple as Memorial Day. If you guys are off, like I used to work part-time, right? All of a sudden, the job that I had with this accessibility is like turned into full-time now at this point, because I work in a school and everything is just crumbling. So I'm just happy to have Monday off now and not look at emails. I mean, really, I've never been like this before, so try to just like look forward to those things, because more than ever, you need that to just like disconnect, I think.
Absolutely. And the clean slate is important too. You're going to wake up with a clean slate, and especially if you start that clean slate, like you said, with thinking of the things that you're grateful for, maybe listing 2 or 3 things in your mind, like I woke up, and I'm healthy today, and my family is healthy today, and I'm ready to start my day now. Things like that. Simple things. It doesn't have to be that we're grateful for, like this. Yeah, like it can be very, very simple. But the simpler things tend to mean the most, I think.
Yeah. And so a lot of people's challenges too, I think, whether they're parents or not, is that sense of busyness that we always had, was keeping us busy from almost like thinking about things, which is a challenge too now, because that busyness has kind of ended, and a lot of people have been running from things. So certainly if you feel, or even if your child is feeling, I always mention this too, really, really out of control, there are resources out there, tons of resources. You can start right in your school district for any kind of, therapies, outreach, things like that. There's so many people like volunteering to help people now. I know just financially, I don't know if the library does this. I know mine does, like food drives. The schools are providing food. So I think a lot of that feels out of control too. And like I said, like when you're busy, you're not thinking about yourself, and now you are, you know. And a lot of people are rethinking their own relationships in their family. So I know that sometimes being at home is not so easy for some, and you may have friends, you know, that you see going through that. But there is a lot of help out there. Like I said, if you know your children, like if they really are can't handle this, you know, for whatever reason, then definitely reach out to the school and see, you know, how they can help you with that. I think just something to mention. Well, I hope everybody relaxed. I know I did. I think that's
Definitely.
why I do this, because I take time for myself when I do this, because again, I teach and I don't always have time to do it. But definitely make time for yourself to, even if you do one of the things I talked about tonight or tomorrow. I mean, I just really think it'll start to help. I mean, they don't have these things for, you know, there's reasons why they have these things. That it really is beneficial right now to take time for you. Mia, were you going to say something? I feel like you're off mute again.
Oh no.
Okay.
I just don't want to, interrupt with the background noise. No, I was going to say yes. Is there going to be another class like this coming up soon? Because it does help, especially to talk about it.
Well, the good news, Mia, is that we are recording this, so it will be available for you to re-listen to. I believe we're going to be posting it again on our Facebook page. So if you're on Facebook, you'll be able to access it that way. But we can definitely look into having Donna back to do more mindful exercises, things like that. Can definitely see if that can be in the works. I love talking with Donna and connecting with her. So, and I don't know, honestly, how long this is going to go on. We don't know. So this might be something that we could benefit from again in the future. I think the more practice we get at it, the easier it becomes over time. And so I'm in if Donna's in.
I'm always in. I always
So
I
thank you. And I said, Crystal said thank you, and Margie also said this was very helpful, just a reminder to slow down and think. So very important. If we do find ourselves with more time these days, even if we are busy in different ways, to use that time wisely, to just think and be kind to ourselves too.
Yeah, that's important.
So, wow. Well, this was great. Thank you so much, Donna. And Mia's off mute again, so I want to let her say something.
I know. I was gonna say thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for coming, Mia.
Good luck to you and your daughter.
Good luck. Seriously, good luck. And, just day by day, day by day. Hi, whoever that was.
That's my daughter.
Aww.
Hi.
Aww.
All right, thank you. I hope
You're so welcome. Okay.
Anything else? I thank you guys.
You're so welcome. Me too, and thank you so much for doing those exercises. And I always loved seeing the ball contracting and expanding in the library, so it was nice to see it a little like familiarity. So again, this is being recorded, so we'll share it, and maybe for the people who were hoping to make it and then something came up, because that happens too. They'll be able to watch it on a replay. So
good, glad to hear.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Bye, Crystal. Have a great night. And if Donna wants to say a final goodbye.
Just thanks to everybody. I'm glad that you all could be here. I'm glad that it helps. I hope that you can continue using everything, and again, just know that you're doing the best that you can, right? You are enough. That's the greatest ending we can have.
Right. Great. Right. Thanks, everyone. Be well, stay healthy and safe, and we'll hopefully see you again soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.